It's Friday, November 27th, and this is now on HNN.
And they're off. Some shoppers lined up early for deals at Hawaii malls, but overall, a quiet start to this Black Friday.
At the end of the day, we need to make sure that we're alive tomorrow to be able to buy more stuff.
A local COVID-19 survivor hospitalized for 88 days has a message to share.
I'll be just a number.
President Trump takes questions from reporters for the first time in more than 3 weeks. I'm Natalie Brand with what he said about leaving the White House.
It's going to be a very hard thing to concede because we know there was massive fraud.
These stories, plus the latest details on an early morning shooting that has police investigating in both Kalihi and Aiea, coming up on This Is Now.
Good afternoon. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Jonathan and Ashley here coming to you from the This Is Now studios. We begin with breaking news from the State Department of Health.
Health officials say 3 more patients with COVID-19 have died, bringing the state's official death toll to 240. The state is also reporting 92 new infections today. The breakdown shows 71 cases on Oahu, 5 on the Big Island, 5 on Kauai, 4 on Maui, and 7 out of state. Meanwhile, a retired Honolulu firefighter who spent 88 days in the hospital after contracting the virus is sharing new details about his harrowing experience and has strong words for those who don't want to wear a mask. Ben Gutierrez sat down with the COVID survivor and has his story.
Jack Dennis was in the hospital for nearly 3 months and was hospitalized again for another 2.5 months because of complications. His voice is still recovering from having been on a ventilator for several weeks, but he still has a lot to say.
I had so much needles, so much tubes in me. Every minute of every day, I was in pain.
Jack Dennis was taken to Adventist Health Castle on March 30th when he developed coronavirus symptoms after returning from a cruise with his wife in Australia and New Zealand.
I started feeling sick. I thought it was something I ate.
Well, we found out later that the cruise prior to ours that had disembarked in Sydney had COVID patients on it. But they still let us on the ship.
And the workers had COVID.
Dennis was one of the earliest COVID patients in Hawaii, and doctors were still learning about how to treat the new disease.
I took care of him for, I think he was in the ICU for 2 months, and very rocky road at that point in time.
Dennis says the pain was so intense, he was ready to give up.
But I was tired of it already. I was getting ready to rip out the tubes and tell them I want to go home. If I'm gonna die, I'd rather die at home, in her arms.
But his wife, Donna, wasn't having it. Unable to visit him in person, she called him on the phone.
And she was yelling at me, "Don't you die. You're ex-Marine. You're a combat vet. You're a fireman. 27 years. You can do this. We can do this. Together."
Dennis was finally released from Castle on June 26 after 88 days in the hospital. He knows that he easily could have been among the 235 deaths in Hawaii and the nearly 260,000 deaths nationwide. He has nothing but praise for his doctors and nurses and for Donna.
Wasn't for them and her, I'd be just another number. You know what I mean? Because when they say another COVID death, they don't say the name. I'd be just a number.
And Dennis, the former Marine and longtime Honolulu firefighter, still has a lot of fight in him.
There's more spikes going on. There's people arguing about whether or not to wear a mask.
They're stupid. They're stupid. Can tell them I said so. Come see me. Let me show you
I'd give you a hug, but we'll save that for next time.
His medical team is definitely glad to see him.
Maybe a year. We should get together.
Thanks, Jack, and I'm glad you're doing so good. It's really heartwarming to see.
Jack and his wife, who had mild COVID symptoms, got a full refund for the cruise, but they are part of 2 class action lawsuits against the cruise line. They plan to fly to Las Vegas for their next vacation when it's safe to do so. Ben Gutierrez, Hawaii News Now.
While many Americans celebrated Thanksgiving in large gatherings despite warnings from health officials, Adriana Diaz is in Chicago, where busy hospitals are getting ready to get even busier.
I was worried after Halloween. I'm far more worried after Thanksgiving.
Hospitals are bracing for a post-holiday influx of COVID patients. Dr. Mita Shah works in the ER at Chicago's Rush University Medical Center.
We will not get a reprieve because then Christmas comes and then New Year comes. So if we're just stacking surge upon surge upon surge, I am significantly worried about that.
The lobby at Rush has been transformed into a COVID triage area to make room in case there's a surge of patients in the coming days. And though a projected 50 million Americans still traveled for the holiday this weekend, outside Los Angeles, this bumper-to-bumper traffic wasn't for holiday travel. It was to pick up a Thanksgiving meal from a food bank.
So many people just appreciate being here, being able to get out.
In Northwest Indiana, volunteers rallied to keep a local tradition alive, turning a massive Thanksgiving feast for 1,500 into a drive-through celebration.
God, we lift up these families who are mourning the loss of their loved ones because of COVID.
For others, the holiday was a time to reflect on a difficult year. Members of a church in hard-hit South Dakota set up hundreds of empty chairs outside the state capitol, one for every South Dakotan who succumbed to the virus. And for the Spano family in Connecticut, dinner was tough without their brother and son, Daniel Spano, who's in the picture frame. He died from COVID earlier this year. Thanksgiving was his favorite holiday.
We're gonna video chat and, try to have some sense of normalcy, but no matter what we do, it's not gonna be the same.
Back in Chicago, like so many frontline workers, Dr. Shaw spent her Thanksgiving in the ER.
You step out of your front door and you're sad that you're leaving your family on a holiday. But when you walk into these doors, this is your work family. And right now, my work family is hurting.
And here's why Dr. Shah and so many others are concerned. According to the city's public health commissioner, one Chicagoan is diagnosed with the virus every minute. Adriana Diaz, CBS News, Chicago.
Take a look at this video from Pearl Ridge. Shoppers ran through the mall to try to be the first in line at GameStop. This happened right when the mall opened at 6 this morning. We're assuming they all want the brand new PlayStation 5 or Xbox, which are really hard to get right now. Pearl Ridge Center is limiting capacity to 50% all day. There were also long lines at Kahala Mall. Check out the line at GameStop there. We assume these shoppers are looking for the same things, either the Xbox or PS5. Remember, everywhere you go, you need to wear a mask and social distance while waiting in line and once you get inside the store. Now let's toss it over to Billy V with a status check on how things are going at Ala Moana Center.
I have to absolutely say this. I walked up and down the mall real quickly. I have not seen a person without a mask today. Yay! Everybody has a mask on, and that's just amazing. Keep it up. Wash hands, distance, and we're doing that too here at our broadcast location. So let's talk about the store, Allison Izu. Well, wait a minute. Let's talk to the person, Allison Izu. Yay! Designer extraordinaire. Allison, first of all, happy Black Friday.
Happy Black Friday, yes.
You had to kind of do what everybody else had to do. You reopened in October, after being on and off again. But your customer base is very loyal.
Yes, we have great customers. Thank you. They're so awesome. They follow us wherever we want to go. So online, in store, and they've adjusted with us.
Kind of go through this. We've got about a minute here.
Yeah, so we have some Black Friday deals. If you come in store, we're doing racks of $29, $39, $49 racks. Wow. And then everything else is marked down. And if you buy 2 or more items, you're getting additional 20% off.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we got on the table?
So we've got some dresses. We have different prints going on right now, which is great, different colors. Because mostly I'm known for my darker colors. So it's great to have a little color for holidays. And then we're also launching a new collection for Black Friday.
Nice.
Yeah.
But that's not here, so you have that online?
So you have to go online, but you can get it in store. So it's all black for Black Friday, and you can get the additional 20% off when you shop 2 or more items.
Perfect for formal, perfect for relaxation.
Yes.
You know, go ahead and what do we else?
Yeah, so we have our Carly top, we have our Lauren cover up. This is Carly. We have some dresses too, which I don't normally do, but we have some dresses for holiday. We are also doing gift wrapping. So this is our new gift bag that we're doing as well.
Wow, you're gift wrapping.
Yeah.
One quick question for you, last question. When you design, how do you come up with ideas?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of what I want to wear as a shorter gal. And then also I listen a lot to my customers. What are they needing? They always come in and say, it'd be great if this sleeve was a little shorter or this top was a little longer. So we listen a lot too.
All right, Allison Izu, designer. Check out her store, but she's also online as well. And the website is?
AllisonIzu.com.
Haven't heard of this one before. Athleisure clothing. Howard Dykes says it's a hot gift item this season.
You got it right. The word is athleisure. It's what they used to call active wear, like sweatshirts and sweatpants, stuff you can run in, but also suitable for snacking and watching Harry Potter movies. Engorgio! Sales are up at Nike, Gap, and Lululemon, more than clothing chains that were slow to do athleisure, slow to figure out that people who don't run like to wear that kind of stuff. Deutsche Bank has a bullish forecast for 2021, 4% rebounding in America, more than that in Europe, if the vaccines work and if companies and nations can handle all their new debt. Disney increases layoffs to 32,000 as COVID batters its theme park operations. Defense contractor Northrop Grumman wins a $4.8 billion Global Hawk contract. And average 30-year mortgage rates fell another 7 ticks this week, which brings the average to 2.92%, enough to trigger new Wi-Fis.
Honolulu police are investigating after a man was reportedly shot this morning. Authorities first responded to the 7-Eleven by the Hele gas station on Aiea Heights Drive at around 5:40 a.m. Police say a man walked into the store claiming that he had been shot in Kalihi and drove himself to Aiea. Paramedics transported the patient, possibly in his mid-40s, to the hospital in serious condition with apparent gunshot wounds to his upper chest and arm. Hawaii News Now cameras captured officers inspecting a car with a bullet hole in the window. No further details have been provided at this time. The Federal Trade Commission says cybercrime involving social media has more than tripled in the last year. Anna Werner has more on some red flags we should all be aware about.
I've learned my lesson.
Tennessee great-grandmother Debbie Jackson says she learned how someone can fall for an online scam. It started when she ordered a special Christmas present for her 2-year-old great-grandson, Asher, a gift of a 3-foot-tall toy dinosaur.
That's the other Facebook page that the same ad was on.
This ad on Facebook showed kids riding the dinosaur. So Jackson says she ordered one for roughly $200 through the seller's Facebook page. Christina Lewis is Asher's mom.
It was supposed to be a riding dinosaur that had a little button that he could press and it would make noises and be interactive. And so we were like, awesome, this is great. He's going to love it for Christmas.
But when the toy arrived in Florida,
it is a stuffed animal about this big, didn't even look like the dinosaur.
And so what do you call that?
It's a scam for sure.
the real toy comes from Play School, and the commercial is theirs too. But Lewis says it appears the scammers used the real ad to sell that cheap, much smaller knockoff.
It's really upsetting that there's scammers out there that are just putting a bad taste in people's mouth about online shopping.
I was really on Facebook and Instagram, just kind of scrolling.
Christina White from Irving, Texas, saw an ad from what she thought was a legitimate seller on Facebook marketing a body slimming cream.
It brought me up to the site. I looked at it, read a couple of the reviews, and I was like, okay, seems legitimate. Let me go ahead and try it. You know, it's $26 bucks. What do I have to lose?
What she lost, she says, was close to $25. The product never arrived. Those stories are being heard more often during the pandemic, says Judith Bitterly from security firm McAfee.
What we know is that cyber criminals follow the money, and the money is online now.
Her company found cybercrime up 12% since April, 419 cyber threats per minute.
So it's a barrage.
It is a barrage.
And she says criminals aren't just after the cash. Through gift card scams and fake websites, they try to trick consumers into giving up their private information.
Customers will see a deal that may be too good to be true, priced really low. They'll go there, and ultimately their personal information will end up on the dark web or being stolen. They're after the money, and your identity is valuable.
Since many scams start on social media, Facebook is now teaming up with the Better Business Bureau to warn online shoppers, donating $75,000 worth of ad space to the BBB for ads like these. Facebook's Sarah Schiff.
Our systems are constantly improving, and we're evolving our policies to get ahead of people trying to scam people out of money and break our rules.
But Debbie Jackson says her experience on Facebook has made her skeptical.
They've got more money than God. Why in the world would they not be able to find a problem? Because that isn't the first time. I mean, it's the first time I fell for it, but it's going to be the last.
The website Jackson bought the toy from has been taken down. The website White bought her cream from has not. We reached out to them for a response, but have not heard back. Facebook said in its last enforcement report, it had removed 1.3 billion fake accounts from its platform. Anna Werner, CBS News, Berkeley, California.
President Trump held a video conference with soldiers for Thanksgiving. He then took part in an impromptu press conference where he repeated many of those claims he's been making on Twitter about the election. Natalie Brand has the very latest developments.
President Trump answered questions from reporters for the first time since Election Day and still refuses to acknowledge the loss.
It's going to be a very hard thing to concede, because we know there was massive fraud.
However, the president did say he will leave the White House on January 20th if the Electoral College votes for President-elect Joe Biden on December 14th.
Certainly I will, and you know that. But I think that there will be a lot of things happening between now and the 20th of January.
The president has especially focused his attention on Pennsylvania. With a multitude of tweets about the Keystone State, courts have repeatedly rejected Trump campaign cases claiming fraud.
President Trump will be making a trip to Camp David today, while President-elect Biden is at his Delaware beach house in Rehoboth.
The Biden spoke with healthcare workers on Thanksgiving and released a video on Twitter.
History has shown, and all of you have shown, that there's nothing we can't do if we do it together.
Both President-elect Biden and President Trump are expected to campaign in Georgia in the coming weeks. 2 Senate runoff races there in January will determine the balance of power in Congress. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
All right, let's switch gears here just a bit. Take you outside. It's currently 83 degrees. The time is 12:17, and I'm hearing from our good friend Guy that surf is on its way up.
Shopping's pretty fun, but surfing's going to be fun too. In fact, up in the country right now, there's a little bit of wave activity going on. Take a look at Chun's Reef, and you can see there's guys out at Chun's. It's fun size. It's not that big. The National Weather Service is figuring maybe head high with some pluses today on that lingering swell, but it's going to get big in a couple of days. In fact, take a look at the numbers from the National Weather Service today. 5 to 7 up in the country, so just about head high at the better spots, maybe some pluses. Smaller down on the west side, maybe shoulder high, and then real small in town. And that trade wind swell, which was so big and dangerous over the last couple of days, is backing off. The trade winds are backing off. But remember, and heads up, because Tuesday night into Wednesday, it looks like a big swell is heading into north and west shores. Big enough that could trigger a high surf warning. And if that happens, we're talking about some life-threatening conditions.
For more than a century, the Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign has helped those in need during the holiday season. Now, amid the pandemic, those bell ringers are facing some new challenges. Elise Preston reports.
A sound of holiday cheer and normalcy in a year that is anything but.
It's such a difficult year for so many people. What do you tell people to give them hope?
The message that I would want everyone in need to know this year is that they are loved and they are cared for.
This year, the Salvation Army is helping care for millions more. Commissioner Kenneth Hodder says need for their services has jumped 155% nationwide. That includes the Nunez family in New York.
It's very tough.
Sarah Gonzalez Nunez contracted the coronavirus in the spring and later lost her job.
I could barely breathe, where I had so much medication. You can't say good morning except through a door, and it's sad.
The family of longtime volunteers is now leaning on the Salvation Army for support as the organization faces a challenging holiday season for its Red Kettle campaign.
There are fewer locations for the kettle because there's less foot traffic, the coin shortage, some of the local shutdowns as a result of the pandemic will all combine to reduce the amount that we receive from the Red Kettle by about $60 million across the country.
This year, the Salvation Army is making it easier on donors with Kettle Pay. You can either tap your phone or scan the QR code to make a digital donation.
Kettles are rolling out everywhere this week. Some cities started weeks ago, and they still accept cash and coins.
A penny to $100 goes a long way.
Generosity this family has experienced firsthand. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
Been searching the internet for some good Black Friday deals, and I've got a good one for you here. Hulu is offering a killer deal. Listen to this. Service for just $1.99 a month. Yeah, it's the ad-supported streaming service, so just a little technicality there. The discount price is good for a full year, then it reverts to the $5.99 a month. If you're already a subscriber, don't worry, you can get the deal too, but act fast. It only goes until Monday the 30th.
That is a good deal.
Yeah.
$1.99 a month. Did you guys watch the dog show last night? Well, Claire, the Scottish deerhound, beat out hundreds of dogs and won Best in Show in the 2020 National Dog Show. She first beat 28 other competitors in the hound group. She then competed against other 6 group winners before taking home the top honor. Now, 2 breeds also made their National Dog Show debut this year. The Barbet, a French water dog, joined the sporting group, and the Doggo Argentino falls under the working group.
One of my favorite modern traditions of Thanksgiving.
And check this out, you guys. A group of garbage collectors in Britain are lifting people's spirits this holiday season with an entertaining act that's going viral. Here's CBS's Tina Kraus in London with that story.
Good morning now. This is the lads doing what they do. This is it, real bin men, everybody.
This trash collecting trio has turned a day job into a garbage gig like no other.
Here come the bin men back, the ones that you remember.
They don't get paid to carry a tune. But they're hoping the song they wrote can bag them the UK's #1 Christmas single.
Yeah, we're going for the charts. It's the maddest story you've ever heard. It's the true underdog story.
It's a story that started earlier this year in the height of England's first lockdown. Empty streets became their dance floors. Their videos went viral as they raised cash for charity. Smile on my face. They quickly became known as the Dancing Bin Men from Britain.
Cheers, have a nice day, pal. We're here to bring fun, we're here to bring hope and joy.
A welcome gift in a year where smiles have been in short supply.
Oh, I've enjoyed it so much. It's been fantastic.
The Dancing Bin Men are a big hit on social media.
If people enjoy it, if they can truly have a boogie around the bins at Christmas, that's what we're looking for.
Well, that and Britain's #1 single this Christmas. Tina Kraus, CBS News, London.
Got me dancing. That was a great story. I needed that. You guys, that's going to do it for This Is Now on this Aloha Friday. It sort of felt like a Monday today, I got to be honest. We had yesterday off. We'll be back here on the real Monday. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Ashley. We'll be back here, both of us, Monday. See you then.